All right, now we're going to get our business ready for funding. We're starting a new business and now we need money, right? Either we've been to a lender and they've declined us, or we want to go. So what do you need to do to get ready to get approved for funding as a brand new business? So at the end of the day, all funding is based on one of two decisions. All funding. It's either based on your credit score of the personal owner or on the cash flow of the business. These two things, right? Credit score over here, right? You're going to have the history of how you have taken out debt and repaid it, right? That's what a credit report is showing. Cash flow is showing your ability to repay a loan. So some lenders are over here looking at cash flow. Other lenders are here looking at cash flow. So how do you put yourself in a position to get approved, right? There's 5 quick keys. Number 1, you got to have a good credit profile. That means that you can't have any negative marks on your credit profile in the last 6 months. Do not miss payments, guys. Set up your credit cards, your personal loans, your auto loans. Always get the minimum payment made on a credit card every month automated so you never miss a payment. But you've got to have a good credit profile. If you haven't got a good credit profile, I've got some tips for you in a sec. Stay with me. All right, so next is don't have too many inquiries. Don't shop for credit that you don't necessarily need. Every time I go into a department store, Macy's, Bloomingdale's, whoever, do you want a store credit card? You get 10, 15% off. Don't take it. Sometimes it's a good time to take it, right? Not trying to discredit it, but don't take every single one of these things. Only take the ones that you need. Because if you've got too many inquiries on your profile, on your credit profile, it shows that you're shopping around for debt and other lenders feel uneasy lending into you. They're like, oh, he's taking on too much debt. All right. So guys, if you don't have a good credit profile and if you have too many inquiries, you're like, oh, I'm dead in the water. Hold up, there are solutions. There are companies that specialize in getting negative marks removed from your credit profile, right? We can provide recommendations, but you can also do a little Google search, but we've got some good ones that we know and they do a great job. Inquiries. Guys, there are companies that literally specialize in just getting those inquiries removed. You can have 5, you can have 10. I've seen people, and I'm not kidding, 45 inquiries on their credit profile in the last 90 days. I'm like, wow. I've never seen anything like it at that time. That was crazy to me. Now I've seen tons in the 20s and 30s, but 45 was a record. So if you have too many inquiries, that's more than 5 in the last year, you've got to get them off there. Okay, so there are companies and we can help you and steer you in the right direction. We don't do it, but we do know companies that do it. All right, number 3 thing you can do. If you can't get approved for business funding to start with, here's a little cheat code. You can get a personal loan. There are certain companies that will lend you money. They'll lend you $5, $10, $20, $30,000, even some which will go a little bit higher, $50,000 and $100,000. Not as much, but up to $35,000. There are multiple companies that will actually lend you money as an individual, and you can use that money for your business. So be smart, be tactical. Next, if you're carrying too much debt, probably not the right time to start a business if you're got too much debt. What does too much debt mean? Every person is different. If you're making $45,000 a year, hey, $10,000 of credit card debt is going to be pretty heavy for you to pay back. If you're making $450,000, that $10,000 a year, that $10,000 of debt is not such a big deal. So it's all relative to how much money you're making to how much debt. But if you have too much debt and you're struggling to make payments, you're making the monthly payments, but the interest is killing you, guys, and if you don't have a path out, here's what I would strongly recommend. There are companies that specialize in debt settlement. And what they do is they take all of your debt and they go back to the lenders and they will renegotiate that debt for you. So let's say you owe $10,000, they will renegotiate it down to $4,000, maybe $5,000 with no interest payments continuing after that. It's a set amount. So you're actually saving a ton in interest and they're reducing them out and they'll set you up on a monthly payment that you can afford. So they'll work with you. Okay, hey, what can you afford? I can afford X dollars per month over a year, 2 years, whatever it is. But that debt settlement will reduce the principal, remove all interest, and set you up on a fixed monthly payment so you can breathe. Because I've seen it way too many times that a person cannot start their business, they cannot grow their business, they cannot get funding because they've got too much debt. So guys, whatever situation you're in, if you have a debt problem, sort it out before you go get funding. All right, number 5 thing you got to do, it's an ugly one, but if you owe money to the IRS, you've got to get that sorted. Lenders will not lend money to you if you have outstanding tax debt. Here's why. Because the IRS has the right to garnish both your bank account and your wages. So the IRS can come in and go, whoop, you haven't paid us, take that money out of your bank account, thank you very much. Okay? Lenders don't want to lend money to you because if you have a tax debt like that, because if they lend the money to you, the IRS could take all that money and then you can't pay back the lender. No lender wants that. So here's what the best way to handle this is there are companies that specialize in this where they will negotiate negotiate with the IRS on your behalf. And it's a very humbling experience to say, I owe 2 years of back taxes, 5 years. I've seen people with 17 years of back taxes. They go to these companies will specialize. They're all ex-IRS employees, right? They go to the IRS. There's a program that they follow and they go, okay, this guy owes whatever it is, $10,000, $100,000, $1 million, whatever it is. Yes, it happens. And they set up the same thing as a debt settlement company. They set up fixed monthly payments. They negotiate the tax debt down. They get rid of interest payments that are going to continue to accrue. They get it all fixed and they get you on a payment plan. So guys, if you want to start a business, if you want to borrow money, make sure your credit profile is good. Make sure you get rid of those pesky inquiries. Make sure you can use a personal loan if you need in the short term, but make sure you get your tax and your debt issues under control with a fixed payment and a settlement plan so other lenders will feel comfortable lending to you. Because if you're in the wind, no lender is going to lend to you. All right, guys, hopefully that's helpful. Have a great day.